Folks, welcome back to the Way Concept presented by The Ring. Today I am with a special guest, my brother, a man that I have known for a very long time now, a man that you guys, if you don't know, you're about to know. He is one of the best cruiserweight boxers on the planet. He is none other than the realest in the game, not just in the boxing ring. Outside of it, he's doing music. He's boxing your head off. He's on YouTube. He's my man, Pots and Pans, Viddal Riley. What is going on? The realest.
What you saying? What you saying, my guy? No, it's good to see you, man.
Good to see you, brother. How is I was gonna say, yeah, it's been a while. Obviously, the reason we had to talk to you is because you got a fight coming up on April 26th. But we'll get to that in a second. Let's do some catching up, man. How you been? I think the last time you saw me, well, you didn't really see me in person, I don't think, but the last time you seen me was when I was, you know what I'm saying, coming across the pond and doing my thing, you know what I'm saying, stomping up.
No. That was impressive. That was impressive. Like, we had to
be honest with me. You don't have to just fluff my ego. It wasn't crazy.
You know me. You know me, bro. Come on, bro. You know me, man. If I would be like, it was all right. It was all right. You could do better. You know what I mean? But no. Honestly, for your first fight with limited time to prepare, and bro. I had to give you flowers. I did give you flowers as well. I remember.
You did.
I did. No, bro, that was my genuine. Yeah.
You said, by the way, I had to get the shorts. You know what I'm saying? I had to get those.
Of course, standard.
One fight, I'm all afraid of the shorts.
No, but it's done now. That's the thing. Even if you don't fight again, you can say I've had a fight camp. I've done the ring walk. I've been out under the lights. Someone was out there to hurt me, and I came out victorious, bro. So that's a priceless experience, man.
You and Leon said one of the funniest things I think I heard around the fight, and I watched it and died laughing for I watched it 3 straight times and died laughing. You said, y'all were like, okay, Wade, you came out. He was like, some people, when they fight black people, they get a little scared. And you said, I don't... Them Southern guys, you know what I'm saying?
But it's true. Yeah. Obviously, we know how you lot get down around there in that region of the world. You know what I'm saying?
You go.
But I was like, Wade's not intimidated at all. Like, he's got a little bit of muscles in front of him, and he's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, but you know what? That you know how we are. You know how real.
Bro, I was dying, bro. I was dying. Oh man. Well, yeah. Listen, I had my fight. It was. I don't know if I'll ever do it again, but it was fun. It was definitely something I needed to do. People were chirping, you know, saying we had to quiet that down. But the real fight we're talking about, the thing that we want to get to today is the reason we're here. Your fight on April 26th on the undercard of Eubank Jr., Conor Benn. I see you're rocking the hoodie right now. It's in Tottenham. Before we even get to the matchup, this moment has to mean everything to you, man. I know how passionate you are, even though you guys are in what, 15th right now? 15th spot.
Yeah.
It's kind of a rough deal.
It's not. No. Listen. It's been a bad season, bro.
What's going on, man? Why am I seeing Ariel Hawani's squad in 3rd at Tottenham Forest Nottingham Forest, and you guys are in 15th? How is this happening?
We can point fingers in so many directions.
Behind Crystal Palace?
No, bro, we're behind a lot of teams. We're only above 5 teams. You know what I'm saying?
Like, this is crazy. They need you out there.
It's not been a good season, man. I need to bring the winning energy to the stadium next Saturday, bro.
It's got to be it's got to be the vibes. It's got to be a dream, though, man. Right? To fight in that stadium. You've been a fan for forever. Talk to me about what that means.
I think, bro, it's like something that I always had on the bucket list. Something that I always thought, you know what, man, it would be nice one day to fight in my home stadium. Like, despite the team's lack of success recently, it's one of the best stadiums, bro, that you can go to. You know what I mean? That they are hosting concerts, NFL.
Oh, like, yeah. The NFL,
biggest, you know what I'm saying? It's a attraction, you know, to fight at the stadium. So for me, I'm like, I want to tick this box off. I thought it would happen later down the line. I thought it would be, you know, when we're at that world title stage and stuff like that. I didn't ever envision having the possibility to be on undercard so soon, like for the British title at Tottenham Stadium on a historic event. Like, the way it all pieced together, man, it's just, like I say, it's just destiny, man. Like, we stay working. I chose the path that I said I'm going to choose. I told everyone, like, no matter how connected I am to crossover and socials and stuff like that, like, I know the direction I want to go in my career. So then when these sort of opportunities pop up, it's just like, yeah, like you chose the right thing. Like life has shown you that you chose the right thing. So now it's just time for me to seize the moment, and I think I'll take it in more once it's done. Like I know where the fight is. Like I'm obviously excited to fight in my hometown, but I'm not trying to add like too many elements onto it other than the fact that I need to defeat Chev on that day. So when I watch it back and a couple weeks pass, I'll be like, we did that. Like we did that. That was at Tottenham, like in our home, picked up the British title. But right now, I'm just like, let's just get him out. Let's just sort him out. You know
Facts.
what I'm saying? Let's just sort
I
him
can
out.
tell you're
Like,
locked in too, because there is something to be said for the pressure of fighting in that stadium as well, like you said, in your hometown. And sometimes it's more about the job at hand, and then, like you said, going back in retrospect and looking. I hope you do get to, when that. I'm sure you got something planned for the walkout. We know. You know what I'm saying? When you got your walkouts going on, and I don't know if it's new music. I don't know if it's new fit. I don't know. I ain't gonna spoil nothing.
it's gonna be different.
Okay.
It's gonna be different.
Okay.
It's gonna be
But
different.
I do hope that
surprise.
just because I'm so close to you, I hope that you get to take in that moment because you deserve it, man. That stuff you can't ever recreate. Like you said, it's destiny.
It's destiny, bro. It's destiny. Like you can't make it up. Like this fight could be anywhere. You know what I'm saying? This fight could be anywhere. It could be on any card. But for it to be on a card with having this much history running through it, even down to the fact that JJ is one of the main parts of the promo. It's crazy.
How bad? So is he gonna be at the stadium?
He's gonna be there. He's gonna be there.
Because I heard he said he would never step foot in that place.
There's been a lot of Arsenal fans around me that have said they would never do certain things, and they're gonna have to do it because the goal is bigger than that.
This was your ultimate plan. You've succeeded.
This is the ultimate plan. This is the ultimate plan. Everyone has to have a piece of Tottenham involved because this is what the opportunity is calling for. But just even things like that. Like I didn't ask JJ to help me promote. I didn't like. You know what I mean? It just so happens that the biggest fight of my career in my hometown with the guy that, rose me to fame in the world is involved in the promo for the event. It's just stuff that you can't really write. It
just came together the right
it's
way
just
at the
like,
right time.
okay, well, this is where we're supposed to be. This is literally my moment. I've put the work in, and I just need to take the opportunity.
Absolutely have put the work in, man. How has been? I know everybody asked the question about camp and stuff, but how's it been? I know you and your pops have been just grinding right now. We kind of brushed on it. You've been off socials. I haven't seen you on Twitter. I haven't seen you putting new videos on YouTube. You've been locked in, man. And by the way, you're always locked in, but this one's felt different. This one's felt like you've gone to another level here.
Yeah, this camp has just been like literally you just preserve your energy, bro. Like there's a lot of stuff that's happened, personally as well, and just things that I've had to deal with, I part of life and part of maturing and part of just things happening, man. So I just said, you know what I need to do? I need to focus on this fight, put all my energy into this fight. Don't spread myself too thin. And once this fight is complete and successful, then we can, open up the doors to all the other things that I enjoy doing and what the people are used to seeing me do. But I just felt like if I was trying to balance socials, dealing with life itself, training, you're just gonna spread yourself too thin, man. So you need to just know when there's a time to just say, I'm just out for now. I mean, just give the people a chance to miss you as well. Sometimes that's important.
100%. I'm so glad you said that. I'm a big pro wrestling guy, and actually I'm going to WrestleMania this week, so I'll be going out there. Yeah, man, Vegas, come on. But one of the great wrestling managers of all time, Jim Cornette, says, "How can they miss you if you never go away?" Right. It's a big thing. And when you come out and you put on this performance you're looking to put on Saturday, I think that will give that resurgence right back to the channel like it always does. And trust me, again, I've had one little measly fight, but it was tough. Even for me, a guy that does this for a living, to try to keep the YouTube and everything. There were days where I don't even want to see a camera, dude. I get this stuff out of my face. I just want to go do what I have to do, go eat, and go to sleep. Like that's all I want to
Right,
do.
right.
So I got a little bitty taste of it, dude. So that's what you're.
See, you know,
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Once you've done it, you
Yeah.
can relate to the emotion,
Right.
especially having the socials and you're running your life off the socials. You know when you was in camp and when you was preparing, there was these moments where you're like, I'm good.
Yeah,
Like I'm
bro.
good. I don't need. I don't
gotta do a
actually.
YouTube video today.
Yeah, like there's so much stuff that's been happening as well to be able to talk about.
Yeah.
And there's been some hot topics, and me and Leon have been like, yo, like.
Oh no,
We could have some
Leon,
good
he's
episodes.
ready too. My man, Leon,
I
ready to fire
know,
up.
but it's gonna make the return so much sweeter because
sure.
we're gonna just have the opportunity to just recap on so much and just give the people what we give, man.
For sure, bro. Well, let's talk about the fight because I think it's a clear statement, at least to me, that this will be the big step up here. At least as far as the numbers are concerned, you're talking about Chev Clarke, who the first time I had heard about Chev Clarke was coming out of the Olympics, the round of 16, big time accomplishment, obviously, and then the famous Eddie Hearn, proposition in the crossover scene where he had, pointed to him and said, "Jake, go and fight my 1-0 guy," trying to pull the rug on Jake. But let's talk about his actual numbers. He is a top 15 ranked cruiserweight in 3 divisions or 3 commissions, and you haven't fought that level of rising prospect yet. He's a British champion. Talk to me about why this was the fight, because we'd had some fights set up with Isaac Chamberlain and potentially looking some other ways. Yeah. Why was Chev the fight?
I can't lie. I was just told that's what was going to happen.
So you just said yes. You just said this is what it's going to be, and you
said
yes.
Yeah, it was. I just the fight with Isaac fell through, and then I was just told, yeah, you're going to be fighting Chev for the British title. Like it wasn't like I wasn't sent an opponent list or like anything like that. It was just like, oh yeah, by the way,
man,
you're gonna fight.
These ring cards, these Riyadh season cards, the matchmaking is A1. So when they drop the name, you're ready to go.
You drop the name, and I'm thinking with such a big opportunity, potential opportunity with the Isaac fight falling through, it was like to have this as the next opportunity. Like how can I not take it?
Yeah.
Like this is a better opportunity than fighting Isaac.
Yeah.
So for that to fall through again, man, life has its way of doing what it does, and if you got faith in your work, and it will work out in your favor. So that was just like, okay, so we was gonna defend the English. Now we're getting an opportunity to fight for the British title in Tottenham Stadium on the undercard of Eubank and Benn. I'm like, okay, Isaac, well, safe, bro. Like,
we'll see you.
Like, I guess we don't have to talk anymore. Like, this is done.
I do want to talk about. How frustrating was it to not be able to get your hands on him? Because that seemed like the build was something we hadn't seen in your career yet, and that you both were, at one point talking, and then it seemed like he stopped, and you were like, "Where'd you go?"
It was frustrating. Yeah. In the initial, because I think, what did he pull out, like 2 weeks before the fight, maybe like 2-3 weeks before the fight? So
you were hounding him, by the way. I was like, man, V is really going.
He had to have 1 week. I said to myself, I'm gonna give him a designated 7 days of just roasting, because you can't just say, oh, I pulled out, show no proof, vanish off the face of the earth, and then I'm supposed to let you vanish. Like, you have to feel some sort of shame for ruining what was going to be a good event.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And then after those 7 days, I was like, cool, let's move on now, and you can't be stuck up on
for sure
one thing. But it was disappointing. You put a lot of work in, you sacrifice.
Yeah.
I had the fight in December just to shake off some quick rust to be back ready again for February the 1st, and I had a feeling, man. I had a feeling that the fight was going to be pushed back or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't invest in it. And then when it happened, I was like, I knew it. Like, I felt that. Like, I felt that the fight wasn't going to happen on February the 1st. Yeah. I just had this feeling, man.
Well, now we're here. Chev Clarke. Obviously, everybody in this scene. I think Daniel Dubois once said you were the best amateur boxer he'd ever seen. So everybody knows you. You know everybody, man. What does this fight look like to you? And, without giving up too much, what do you see in Chev?
Yeah. No, you see, Chev is a very accomplished fighter,
Mm.
amateur and professional. As you said, you named his positions in the governing body. He's British champion. He fought for the European title. He did come up short, but he's got good names on his record, you know. And I feel like he's just one of those guys that's gonna bring the best out of me. Like I have to bring my best in order to defeat him. Like this is not an easy opponent. This is not a guy that is like, all right, cool, yeah, like whatever. Like I have to. I've given him the respect he deserves in my preparation. You know, my sacrificing. Like we said, taking breaks from the socials and stuff because I understand the occasion. Um, I will beat him because I just it's just that's what I do. You know what I mean? That's what I do.
Honestly, a lot of people are going to look at this fight and see his name next to yours in the billing and think, I mean, I don't know what the odds stand at right now, but I would assume there's going to be a lot of people thinking he's the favorite here.
Yeah, and that's great. You know what I mean? Like this is what we're here for.
Right?
Like I'm not. I really
does that
didn't
it has to
see-
feel good though, right? You
Yeah,
come into
like, I
these fights
didn't-
like, oh, here, you know, Viddal's about to smoke this, blah blah blah. For this one, it's
You know
a
what I
different
mean?
storyline for you, you know.
I'm happy. I'm happy when the public are not certain on if I can win, because that's what creates excitement, bro. That's what interest is about. You know what I mean? Like I've had that stage of my career where everyone's expecting me to look spectacular, knowing that the guy on the other side of the ring isn't as good as me, and I'm supposed to just build myself up. You know, I've had that phase, and now I'm entering the phase where people see the other guy and think, "Oh, I don't know if Viddal can
Hold on a second
overcome
now.
this challenge."
What we saying?
Yeah, like I don't know. So I'm like, this is good. I like it. Like
Yeah.
I'm here for challenge. You know, a lot of fighters turn down challenges, bro. You know, not everyone's here to be tested. Not everyone's here to test their boundaries. But for me, I'm like, cool. I understand there's a journey. I understand there's a process. So I'm not gonna throw myself into any challenge just because I want to seem like, see, I don't say no ever. But at the same time, when it makes sense and it's someone that you know you've prepped for, he's been on your radar, and you always knew this could be a potential showdown. When the day comes, I'm ready, man. I'm ready for it.
I can see, man. I can see you're chomping at the bit. And by the way, you know, for all the talk about challenges and whatnot, you're fighting at British level, I would say relatively quickly, you know, in your career. There's been greats like Ricky Hatton that didn't step up to that level till way later. And there's others that in the same boat, not just in the UK, but in just across their career, stepping up way later in their career. I've always thought your trajectory, even Chev stepping up as quickly as you have, has built you guys into the matchup we're going to see. Two great fighters going at it. Honestly, I'm looking at the card, and I look at show-stealing fight there early that people may not, as we go into this card, realize, but coming out of it, sure, we'll talk about the main event. Sure, I'm sure we'll talk about the Yard and Arthur fight. But I think one of those big topics, you know, what is it, Talk Sport over there? Talk Sport's going to be on there, man, and they're going to be chatting about this one. I'm telling you,
for
man.
sure. Like this is literally number one, number two.
When it got announced, I went, oh, wow. Like that, I've seen, you know, the rest of the card's great, but I looked at that one, and maybe it's because, you know, I'm you know, your boy and stuff, but I was like, man, that right there is one to keep an eye on. 10 rounds. Yeah, we're going 10?
12.
Okay. They've got you. See, box rate. They, you know what I'm saying? Box rate. Step the game up. Okay, 12 rounds.
We're going 12.
12 rounds for his 13th fight. Now, Chev, you know, it's really for him time. 34 years old. It's not really any more time to waste. Does that, when you're fighting a guy like that, and you already said you have to beat him into submission, right? You saw him get off the canvas in his last fight, come back and really try to make that push. Didn't end up, you know, getting the nod, but he's a guy you're gonna have to nail to the ground or, you know, outbox for 12. Does his age and the fact that it's now or really kind of never at that age really factor in as well?
Yeah, I think, bro, it's just nature, innit? It's nature. It's not my rules. It's just life's rules. No one's really getting stronger or physically better at 34 years old. You do get smarter, you know, you get wiser, which is like the trade-off for losing your physical attributes. But he's not smarter than me, and physically at 27, I'm only entering my prime, bro. You know, I'm only entering my prime. Like I've signed with Sky when I was 24. I've seen my body change. I've seen my, my personality change. I've entered in that phase. You know what I mean? I feel like Chev did leave the stage that I'm at now. He left that in the amateurs. So everything that he's achieving now is because he's extremely dedicated. He's extremely stubborn. He got love for the game, which obviously prolongs how long you can perform at a high level. But you can't beat nature. You can't beat nature. And it's my job to show next Saturday that it's my wave now. It's my time. And I hope that, the fight's a good challenge en route to proving that. And if it's not, then I'll take it anyway.
Yeah, the way you say that, you look at this, it seems like you have an idea how this thing's going to go in your head. What do you see happening? You see him stop? You think you stop him?
I believe I can. I believe I can stop him.
Because that was a little cheeky at the end there. You're I hope he brings a challenge.
No. I do.
Yeah.
But I do believe I can stop him.
Yeah.
He might feel the same about me. He's shown more vulnerability than I've shown so far. He's fought higher level people, so you can maybe cancel it out with that. But at the same time, he showed vulnerability at early stages in his career as well, when the level wasn't higher than the level that I was competing at. So I think, I can stop him if the opportunity presents itself. And what history has shown, if I get someone going, I normally do finish them.
Yeah.
So if that presents itself next Saturday, then I don't see why it will be any different. But yeah, this is gonna be a good coming out party, man. This is gonna be a good time to announce myself on a world scene as a fighter. We've been announced on the world scene through the socials and through other things that I've done. But as a fighter,
rapper,
I think, you know
what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Got the bangers. Don't play.
Yeah, it's true. But as a fighter, I feel like this is the one now where there's a lot of eyes on it. It's a big event. It's bigger than boxing. Everyone's gonna want to know what's happening on that day. So to be a part of it, I'm just gonna put a performance on that puts myself out there and represents me, my team, my brand in the best way possible. So we can continue to fly upwards, man.
Speaking of flying upward, I know you're focused on Chev, but on this very card is a familiar face, a guy you faced in the amateurs, a guy that just now held a belt for a bit, Chris Billiam Smith. When you get the job done after your fight, are you gonna hit the showers, come back out, and maybe take a peek at that fight?
I'm gonna try and have a look at whatever fights I can, man. Just because it's a big card and there's every fight that's on the undercard could be a main event on another day.
True.
So I will try. I don't know the running order. I'm not sure if I'm the first fight on. I'm not sure if Chris is first.
Right.
But I'll be keeping an eye on it.
Is he a guy you look at as potentially, okay, I've get this fight, and how do I make my way? There's a ton of people in the rankings that, how it sorts itself out is how it sorts itself out. But you have experience in the ring with him. Now he's gotten up there and grabbed the belt. Is that one you look at in the future potentially?
It could be, but I believe me and Chris would only meet at the highest level.
Yeah.
Chris is cool, man. Like, me and him can chop it up and talk when we're at events and stuff. And I know that his aspirations is only to compete at the highest level. I can't see him coming back down to rebuild his career. He's been a world champion.
Of course.
He's defended his world title. He wants to literally have fights that get him back into more world title fights. So if me and Chris was to cross paths, it would have to be at the level that he has said, like, this is where I'm trying to be, bro. I'm not trying to come down to
the Jaiopatayas.
Yeah, I'm not trying to tackle the young guys that's coming up, people that are behind me. I need to be on par with me,
I will say, I had Drew Jordy on last week, and he says if the fight happens tomorrow, you beat him. Those are his words.
What was this with Chris?
With Chris.
Okay.
Those are his words. You know what I'm saying? I'm just putting it out there potentially. I don't know in the future.
You know what Brian's like. Brian can stir a pot.
He can, man.
He can.
I'm just telling you what he said. That's all.
That's cool. I'm just focused.
You're
on
a humble
Chev.
guy, man. I know you're focused on the fight ahead. Well, talk to me though about the main event, because it's a stacked card, but obviously the main event is, you talked about it, it's history for British boxing. Maybe not in the way that a lot of people would think of history, world titles and undisputed and unified, but the namesake, Chris Eubank Jr., Conor Benn.
Yeah.
It just means more, right?
Occasion.
It just means more.
It's something, again, that you can't, it's hard to recreate.
Yeah.
To be able to have two legendary fathers who had a rivalry, to then have two sons that compete and then can meet, is not going to happen often. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, this is for nostalgia. This is not about who's the best in the world, who's going to be the pound for pound, who's going to be the Ring magazine. Like, this is not that part of history. This is just a matter of, we could make it happen. The people want to see it. They actually do dislike each other as well. So it's a grudge match. It's a grudge match.
It's so insane to watch them interact and recall the fathers, the way they interacted, and it's almost identical. Not even without, like, it's not even trying to be, but it's just their personalities. You can see both of their fathers in it. You can see the fiery nature of Nigel and Conor. You can see the, let's have some parliamentary procedure. You can see that in Eubank Jr. And it's just,
for sure.
He does a little more needling than Senior does, but it's so fun to see. And I'm looking on it from the outside in. I love it. I know you all have to. When that fight does get in the ring, because we're seeing all the stuff outside of the ring, the eggs, the name calling, Nigel going freaking Undertaker with the choke. I was like, oh my god, I choke slammed him. But hopefully,
the build-up's been great.
Hopefully, we get in the ring, no issues beforehand. How do you see the fight? Because there's a lot of people going either way with it. Talking about the speed, the punch power, the youth of Conor Benn, but he is coming up in weight, and then you talk about the experience, the skill, the levels that Eubank Jr.'s fought at, but maybe he's a little older in the tooth. What do you think?
I slightly lead with Chris to win.
Yeah.
Not by much, but I do think I have to lean with Chris a bit just because of the people he's faced. And Conor, one of the main things is Conor hasn't shown the power at the higher weight classes. So when he's fought at 154, he's throwing the punches with the same intentions and the same velocity and the ferociousness that we know he does. But the guys were kind of looking at him like, cool, bro.
Yeah,
like, that's nice. Yeah. I can take that. So
that ain't 47, buddy.
No, and I think it's we haven't seen that firepower from him in the higher weights. Yeah. And that was a lower weight than what they are fighting at.
Yeah.
So if the firepower wasn't displayed at 154, what will it magically appear at 160?
Potential eggs for breakfast can make a difference.
Hey, you said that.
I'm just saying, if you get a good breakfast, then it helps your fight. That's all I'm saying.
So that's why I'm kind of like, Chris has been hit by bigger guys naturally his whole career.
Yeah.
Against Liam Smith the first time round, we did think, wow, Chris's punch resistance may be gone. But again, Liam Smith is a bigger person than Conor Benn. Always competed in a higher weight class.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna side with Chris. I have it like 55-45.
I'm telling you, man, it does feel like one of those, and that's why I love the fight. I've been trying to tell people, granted, I'm very, young and brand new to a lot of the pro boxing scene and really trying to establish myself. But one of the things that's frustrated me to no end coming into this game is seeing just the importance just on title fight, that we can't have a big fight unless there's a belt on the line. And I'm like, why? There's so many big fights that can headline without a belt, and this is proving it. Sold out Tottenham. People are just buzzing about this fight, and we couldn't care what weight it's at, what title's on the line. It's just those two names, and we want to see it type of thing. And I really hope that that's the big thing.
The main thing is, if everyone wants to see people fight who don't like each other, like nothing can beat that feeling. I don't like you. I know that you don't like me. Let's fight.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
It's the oldest like thing in
Yeah,
combat
it's like
sports. It's like we want to see two
literally,
people beat each other up that don't like each other.
you know, and that always adds that extra fire to it. Like for me, I don't dislike Chev, for example. You know what I mean? We're just both competitors, and we like to challenge ourselves. And I'm gonna try to finish him, and he's gonna try to finish me, and that I like that. That works. But then there's times when it's like I don't like this guy.
So we
Like
need
I
what you're saying is we need
genuinely.
to put like 15 pounds on Idris Virgo, and then we'll see. You know.
Hey, see that? That's a difference. There's a difference. You see, that's a real difference. But what one thing I would say in Connor's favor, because I did speak a lot about Chris, but not Connor, is
Yeah.
you can't that desire, man, that desire and that kind that he fights angry.
Mm-hmm.
Like some people can't fight well angry, but he fights well fueled angry,
Mm-hmm.
and he's not gonna be any more angry or fueled for any other fight than this.
Facts.
So that is powerful. That's a real powerful energy that if he can harness it, that's why I think the fight's close because it's a lot of emotion and he's an emotional guy and he can use that emotion to be dangerous. So
And also he
it's
feels like it's you know his destiny, his dad in his corner. And I kind of wanted to ask you about that. Both these guys' relationships with their fathers, obviously, you know, put out in the public pretty recently, and obviously even for Eubank Jr. for a long time now. What do you make? Because we know that Conor and Nigel are like inseparable at the hip. Nigel's going to be in his corner. He's going to be there with him. But then on the other side, and you kind of have some experience with your dad being in your corner. But Eubank Jr., his dad is telling him essentially, don't take the fight. You're going to get knocked out. And we don't know if he's going to be there. Their relationship's super turbulent. What do you make of that, man?
I think Chris Eubank Senior is a very wise man. I think he stands on business. He stands on his opinion. He's not here to fit into what might, affect the event or anything. He's just like, this is what I feel. It's my son. That's what I feel. So it is what it is. It's similar, my dad's similar in that way where it's like I don't care what everyone else is saying. I'm telling you, it's my son. This is how I feel about it, and that's it. Like, and you have to respect that. You have to respect that,
Absolutely.
and you don't. And obviously, the son's not always gonna agree with the father. I know you have a great relationship with your father as well. You're not always gonna see eye to eye. He's gonna have a strong opinion.
Not at all.
You know what I mean? And then you're gonna be like, "Nah, dad, man," and he's gonna be like, "Well, I don't care, bro. That's what I think." And it just so happens that in this situation is such a big scale and it's so public because of who they are. But I don't think it's anything abnormal between having father and sons who both share strong personalities. You know what I mean? Chris Senior probably looks at himself and sees a lot of Junior in him and vice versa. So sometimes that doesn't always mold. Sometimes that can have a little bit of a clash. On the other side, Conor and Nigel seem to click and gel extremely well. But come the day, it's about the sons.
Don't matter about none of that. That's true, man.
It don't matter about any of that. Nigel can't get in and take a round for him, let him recover.
And Nigel would too. Nigel jump in there
tomorrow,
buddy.
He would. But it's not about that, man. Same way as much as my dad has all the passion for me and all the
Don't let Derek get in there now. Come on now. Don't let Derek get in there.
He can't. You know what I mean? Hey, I know he would get in there. I know you would get in there and throw some pieces, but he just gotta let me do it, man.
I seen him popping them jabs on True Jordy. Come on, bro. It's gonna be a historic event, man. I'm super proud of you. I know you're gonna kill it out there, and obviously that main event's gonna be insane. But let's really quickly before I let you get out of here, let's move on to literally the week after, because the ring and everything that Turki Al-Sheikh is doing for boxing, he's putting on some crazy events. Yes, we're starting in Tottenham in front of 80, 90,000, whatever's gonna be in there, 70, 80,000. Then next week, we're going to Times Square. I don't even know how this is humanly possible to do. We're going to stage a boxing event in the middle of Times Square, son. What? Have you ever seen anything like this?
Never, bro. I don't think anyone has. I don't think we were supposed to.
Nah.
It's like, And it's a VIP only event, right?
Yeah,
Like you can't
yeah.
even buy tickets.
Nah,
Let's
bro.
go.
I mean, listen,
What are you
I
going?
got it.
Are you going?
Well, I was gonna say I got it on good authority. You know what I'm saying? We might have to cruise to New York, bro. I might as well make the
Ah,
announcement now. We might as well tell people. You know what I'm saying? I'll be in London too, so I'll
okay,
be there. I'll be there.
okay,
Come and see your boy after.
okay.
You know what I'm
Wade's on
saying?
the scene. This is
Yeah,
what we
bro.
like to
Come on
see.
now.
Wade's on the scene.
But yeah,
Yeah,
apparently
man.
I don't know how it's gonna work. I don't even know what like. There's so much that I just don't know yet. But yeah, it's a VIP event. I'm pretty sure there's only like 100 to 300 seats available, and they're only for
Crazy,
specific people.
crazy.
I'm you just think about it in your head in Times Square with the digital billboards and the lights and everything. It's going to be an insane look. It's going to look like a video game. It's going to look like Fatal Fury come to life.
And I guess that's what they're going for,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I guess that's what they're going for.
By the way,
And
did they tell you you're going to get your character in the game, or what are we doing?
this is what I'm saying. I need a copy of the game first.
What are we doing, bro?
I need to get a copy, at least 2 copies.
Man's get
actually,
speed in the game. We
for
can't
the
get Viddal
game.
Riley. What are we doing, bro?
Yeah, man. Come on, man. I know that would be good. But I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure all them things will work itself out, man.
Oh yeah.
But to have the event in Times Square,
Stupid, crazy.
yeah, I'm very, very interested to see what it looks like, because I've been Times Square,
Yeah.
and like, yeah, it's one of those places, isn't it? Like when you're
Historic.
standing in the middle of Times Square, you're like, wow, I'm in Times Square, like,
Yeah,
you know what I
man.
mean? So to see that transition into somehow being a fight venue, and everyone that lives in the city being annoyed that the transport and
That's
their
a
routes
part
are
of it no
affected.
one's talking about, and I'm glad you brought it up. My girlfriend is from New York, and I told when
Okay.
when it came about, she goes, "Oh, that's going to be a nightmare." I was like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah,
She goes,
bro.
"Everybody's going to get so upset because they can't get on the train, they can't get on the subway." Like,
Yep.
I was like, forget all that. She's like, "I'm telling you, I don't know how they're going to do it."
No, it's gonna be crazy, but you know what they say in life? That's a you problem, bro.
Yeah, bro, you gotta have to hold that for a night. We got stuff to do. We got history to make, man.
This is it. This is it.
Come on.
Nah,
Quickly, let's give it a little rapid fire on the fights. Which one are you more looking forward to? You got Ryan Garcia, Rolly Romero in the main event, Devin Haney,
Yeah.
Jose Ramirez in the co-main, and I don't know where they're gonna line them up, but Teofimo Lopez and Arnold Barboza also on the card for the WBO title. So, which one do you stand out the most? Like, it's only a 3-fight card.
Nah, I think Rolly and Ryan Garcia.
Main event, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's a main event for a reason.
Yeah.
I think it's the right main event. The personalities, the drama, the whole backstory of what Ryan's had to go through to get himself back to this point. It's gonna be interesting to see those two personalities clash, man.
Yeah.
Because they're very outspoken. They got a lot to say. It's gonna be exciting to see the return of Devin as well, because that defeat was a lot. And I just hope like he can come back and show the quality of that he's shown before.
Yeah.
And of course, Tio's Tio, man. So Tio, we don't know what we're gonna get.
Out of the three of them,
by
the way, Arnold Barboza Jr., no walk in the park, not a guy that's the toughest fight on the card, and Tio's taking it. And I would argue out of the three of them, Teofimo, Devin Haney's resume is insane. Teofimo's resume is also insane, and I think pound for pound, skill for skill, boxing IQ for boxing IQ, he might be the best of the three of them. Not even might be, he probably is.
Yeah, I think out of the three, I would rank Tio the highest, the best. He's my most favorite to watch.
Yeah.
You can't
does it all.
He hasn't got the speed and the left hook of Ryan. That left hook is crazy. And of course,
there's something
the
to be
jab
said too, man, for being a specialist at that high level like Ryan is. I've never seen anything like it. I've been trying the last couple months to track down everybody from Ten Goose to, anybody I can speak to be like, what is it? And they're like, we don't know, man. It's just different.
He's had that. He's had that in his locker. There's no coach that can teach him that at this point.
I'm in there in the bag. I'm like, show me. They're like, we can't.
No, that's him.
Yeah, man.
But they all specialize between Tio, Devin, and Ryan. They all specialize in different areas. You know what I mean? Overall, you could say Tio, but the jab, the IQ of Devin,
the feet, by the way,
when Devin, the feet, you can't take that away from him. The speed, the explosiveness, the left hook of Ryan. And of course, Tio has shown us a bit of everything, to be fair.
Got it all.
He's shown us a bit of everything. So that's a very good card. Only 3 fights. But that would be good for the people in the city so they can get their Times Square back.
Can't wait for that one. And then before we get you out of here, I didn't know if you saw, just to wrap up some things because you've been off social. Yesterday, a massive name is announced a comeback fight. Did you see?
No.
It's a name that is well regarded in the pro scene and one that I think he was actually ranked ahead of you for a little bit. The man, the myth, the legend, Tommy Fury's coming back.
Oh, he's returning.
Apparently,
you know what? He's been popping up on my on the Snapchat. On the Snapchat stories.
Okay.
I've been like, why is this guy in my algorithm again, bro? Like,
showing the muscles and all that. He's oiled up with the muscles.
Yeah. He's in good shape. He's in good shape. He's in good shape, but he's coming back. So
he's coming back.
There's only one fight he can be coming back for.
It's not the Jake Paul fight. At least not what I think. He announced a fight in Budapest. Said he was Hungary. I was like, listen, brother, you don't got bars like that. He's starting his own promotion, TNT Promotions. So I don't know what's gonna happen there.
Fair enough, bro. Do your thing, bro. Like, you know me, I ain't a hater, man. Do what you're doing, innit? I guess if you're gonna do your thing. I don't know how much interest that's gonna spark, but
the people of Budapest, I was hearing through a parade at the news. They're super pumped.
A parade.
I'm playing.
Yo,
I'm playing.
Hey, fair enough. I'm trying to get a parade in Tottenham, so he got a parade before me, but good for him.
I'm playing. Tommy, it's fun to have him back in the scene, and obviously, his relevance is like you said, attached to the crossover scene. Jake is about to apparently announce his next fight. Rumor is it's Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Like,
honestly, I'm in the same boat. I'm like, that's the face I make if I'm like, all right.
I'm not mad at it. Like,
I'm not either. It's
cool.
Just like, cool, I wanted give me KSI, give me Tommy rematch something. But
yeah, we know what we would have preferred to see.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not mad at it. Like, I'm not mad at it. It's cool.
Yeah, I mean, Julio at one time was I don't know what I'd call him a world level. He did have a belt, but I don't know if I'd ever call him world level. But he was big time for a bit there. Obviously, carrying the lineage of father. But we'll see. Hopefully Julio's just cleaned up. He's had a rough go of it. But
I think he's gonna get moved to, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think if that fight happens, you think Jake knocks him out?
It's gonna be what? It's gonna be at cruiserweight.
It's gonna be a cruiserweight. Listen. I don't know anything, so when I say things, it's just speculative. Everybody thinks because I work with Jake.
If that fight happens, I don't.
Well,
I think Jake can handle it.
I've seen Mendoza pop up a couple different times talking about belts and whatnot, and I'm hoping that's not the case. That there's some sort of. I'm not saying. Listen, I'm not hoping for anything bad for anybody, but. Let's call a spade here. That's not a world title fight.
No, it's not. It's not. But the game will be the game, bro.
Yeah.
The game will be. That's the best way to say it. The game will be the game.
Listen, if he gets that belt, though, you know what I'm saying.
All right, let's see. Let's see what the future holds. Let's see what the future holds. But the future right now,
locked
April 26th.
Locked in on April 26th.
April 26th. That is what needs to be ticked.
Facts. You talked, as we head out here, you talked about KSI performing or being involved in some way. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. Any thoughts on what's going on with him right now with the boxing stuff and him not really knowing if that's what he wants to go forward with anymore? You were there from the very beginning. So I kind of wanted to ask you as we head out here, what do you make of KSI's boxing career? If it ends today, what can you say about it? And do you think it's done for? Or do you think he's just taking some time here?
Man, well, you know me, I've always said it outwardly. I thought he should have retired ages ago.
Yeah.
I did say it, but I said that because I care for him as a friend.
For sure, yeah. So
I'm not looking at it as business, and I have no shares in Misfits or any of these things. So I'm just looking at it like you wasn't a boxer.
Mm-hmm.
You did box because it was a wave that was so powerful and it was game changing. People like me, you, and many others exist because that side of the game was created.
Yep.
And I believe it should have always remained those one-off maybe twice a year sort of
Yeah.
events. I don't think it should have ever transitioned into we're going to offer this many shows a year and we're going to have this many fighters and we're going to do all of this. So I think when that model came in, it takes a level of commitment out of you, bro. It takes a level of commitment, as we spoke about earlier in the conversation. And we don't do half as much as what he does.
Oh, God, Lord.
So if he's feeling the pressure and feeling like every time I try and get an opportunity, a fight falls through, someone pulls out, the fights are not being made that the people want to see, all you constantly get is negative backlash, which, some people could say he brings on himself at times or whatever. But it is long, bro. And that's why, as his friend, I said time ago, leave it, man. You don't have to do it. Do you know what I mean? And then when something worth it comes up, a boxing match, cool. Step in, man. But don't feel the need to have to fight this many times a year and deliver this much for misfits and stuff like that. It's just long. It's just long.
Yeah, if it's not just earth shattering to me, if it's not like,
what's the point, man?
What are we doing?
What's the point?
Unless you just want to have a scrap, and in that case, I guess because it's your company. But I just see his name so far above some of the stuff, and people don't think I do because of whatever petty back and forth we have. But what are you smiling about, bro? You told me a long time ago, by the way. You are the oracle of truth, man. You told me a long time ago. You're like, wait, he'd be right about stuff, but sometimes he just need to, not say it.
No, because you be saying stuff, and I'm like, I see what you're saying, my bro, but you just an antagonist, man. You're an antagonist, bro. You're an antagonist, bro. Like you're not wrong.
Right. It's just sometimes it don't need to be said, and I'm like, let me just go ahead and say it.
Yeah, where he's like, you know what? Let me just drop this tweet right now. I know he's upset right now. I know that he's probably just wanting some time to himself. No. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna hot this guy right now. That's what I'm gonna do. And then you know what I'm gonna do after that? I'm gonna make a YouTube video saying, "This is why I said that. This is why." So leave in the comments what you think, bro.
Oh my God, people think I'm some mastermind, bro. I just, what I'm saying, I just move. I just move, bro.
But no, you know what, bro? That's why you're in the position you're in because, man, you speak a lot of sense. You speak a lot of sense, and you gotta have some people that ruffle their feathers, bro. You have to. You have to. Me and Leon be ruffling.
What's this game if it ain't fun, man? What's this game if we ain't making it fun? You know what I mean?
That's it. So always shout out to you and always shout out to JJ. But I just want him to make the decision that makes him happy and the decision that allows him to not be stressed out, man.
Facts.
So because he's worked too hard for too many years to be feeling like, there's no point, bro. Facts. That's how I feel anyway.
Yeah. So when him and I fight in 2026, then you'll be there. It'll be good.
That might be his last one.
That might be it, bro. We doing a fight with Wade. Oh no, we done.
He's gonna build up the energy for you. He's gonna say, I got one more in me for this guy.
For this guy, we running that one. Okay, quick rapid fire when we get you out of here. I ask everybody on the show this now, just because I think it's such a cool way to end things. I know this answer from you, but I think the people would love to know. Give me your favorite fighter currently, favorite fighter ever, and favorite fight you've ever seen. Go.
Favorite fighter currently, Terence Crawford.
Okay. And why? And why?
He can just do everything, man.
Yeah.
He can do everything, man. From both stances to fighting forward, backwards, being in a dogfight, completely shutting down a fight, facing adversity, the consistency, he can finish high-level opponents, people that have never been stopped before. And I think mainly his personality. I think mainly as long as with all the skills I've said, I really just like his character. Like I really just feel like I can relate to Bud as a character.
Okay.
Favorite fighter of all times, Roy Jones Jr.
Noted.
Just because, bro, no one was doing what he was doing.
He was one of one, man. You can't make him in a lab.
Yeah, you can't, and you can't try and beat him because you'll get knocked out.
Try
Like,
doing some of that stuff,
you
bro. Like,
you
no
can't
way.
you know that's just rare, man.
Yeah.
Like he's like Ronaldinho. Like
Yeah.
he's like that guy that you want to type in YouTube and watch the highlights because he's just doing things that is crazy. So Roy Jones Jr. favorite fight of all time. And what was the final question?
Your favorite fight ever and why?
My favorite fight ever. I think I always say Ricky Hatton and Floyd Mayweather because when that fight happened, I was 10 years old. I feel like I was just coming into that consciousness of being able to attach to a fight build-up. So seeing the worldwide press conferences, obviously being from here and seeing Ricky's come up all the way through, Floyd being the acting like you, being the antagonist. That was, and I remember staying up until the early hours of the morning as a 10-year-old to watch that fight, and I was not tired. Like I was just like, I need to see this.
Yeah.
I need to see this. I remember not thinking who was. I didn't know who was gonna win. Watching the 24/7 countdown show classics. So I think 2007 was that December the 8th.
Dang, down to the day. Okay.
Yeah, December the 8th, 2007. And I just remember, just being 10 years old and thinking, this is massive. Like this is crazy. I don't know who's gonna win. I need to watch this.
Crazy.
And so I always, there's other fights, but I'll put that down comfortably. I can say comfortably, that's a favorite fight.
From that moment, December 8th, 2007, all the way up into this one, you have become one of the most highly sought after, highly watched, and talked about prospects in professional boxing. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Viddal, the realist Riley. He is going at it on April 26th in his hometown, in his home stadium against Chev Clarke for the British title. Thank you once again, Viddal, for joining us here, and good luck, brother.
My guy. Thank you, bro.